So in starting out with this project, we were contacted by the homeowner directly and asked us if we would be willing to come over and look at the space and kind of figure out where we could go with this, what type of bottle capacity he could be at, what type of features we could bring into the room. Did we do the cooling system? Did we do the tile? What were our specific roles in what we do, or do we just provide wine racks? Okay, so one of the highlights and the features of this particular cellar, the room is only 8 by 10, so you have a perfect square here. We had basically an open canvas when we came down into the basement and met with the homeowners, and the homeowner had asked us a couple questions about the hallway where we could do barrel ceilings and or arch ceilings and that type of thing. We actually even thought about it in here, but we decided to go with it in the hallway and give it a nice paint finish because it actually hid some of the staircase. So we carried it through in 2 different spots. And then to me, the dramatic entrance of the wrought iron arch door, which just has amazing detail, with the casings as well as the solid exterior grade mahogany door. And it really shows off how you walk into the space and you pick up the arch, the mural, the paint finish on the ceiling, and obviously this dramatic focal point, which is the horizontal displays, which are left and right of the arch that we spoke about, carrying the display rows here left and right, and just giving the features of the floor to ceiling, which really gives it that dramatic feel from outside the space. All of our lighting is set on dimmers to really be able to set the mood if you're bringing people down from upstairs for a dinner party and you wanted to select a couple bottles. We have a horizontal space here in the arch where you can put out decanters and set up the wines for the evening as far as the tasting goes. And just some of the nice features in laying out a room, even at this size. We came out with a bottle count that was just about 1,000 bottles, and it really gives you enough space to be able to put away case bins and to be able to have your diamond bins, for instance, if you're buying, let's say, a case or so, and you want to be able to easily navigate through those, as well as with your 750s. Now, obviously, most of the people at Joseph & Curtis know that we offer cellar management, and we can tag these bottles and get them organized for you, whether it's this bottle starting in the display row and the other bottles in the case working your way up, or if you have that bottle and you put the cases down below it or in the diamond bin. It makes for a very smooth and easy transition, and also in knowing where this section is Italy, this section could be California, this section is obviously what we just talked about down here with the case bins. This could be a French section, and all the way around the room. We also, with this particular customer, helped them acquire some different wines. We've got about 15 cases so far, and we're working on some more. And of all different things, this customer is very interested in getting to in all different types of wine. He didn't come to me and say, well, I just want California, or I just want Italy. He's very broad-based, tasting a bunch of different wines and really having fun with it, as you can see. So we also ended in this space, we capped off the room, which is left and right of the entrance door, with what we call quarter rounds, which gave the customer some shelving that you'll see later to be able to display some different features with decanters and in this case, some different statues and so forth, and it really sets the room off nicely. I also want to highlight the floor. This was a natural stone that we selected that is absolutely gorgeous. It plays very nice off the tones in the sapele that's lacquered, which is the mahogany that we use. This is almost an exotic wood. This is a very high-end mahogany, very strong, very durable, can hold up to the temperatures of refrigeration that's in a particular wine cellar. But the floors itself, this is a 5-piece pattern. I don't know if you can see this down here. And this is also accentuated, sealed, to be able to bring out the colors that we chose for the ceiling, for the walls, and for the mural. And it really sets the room off nicely. So as far as some of the other features in this space, as far as the racking goes, we have these in particular, which are 750s, and they're mirrored on both sides. As I said, this is a square room. Obviously, the display rows that we spoke about, the diamond bins that we included in here that are also bookending the cooling system that's above you. And we carried the diamond bins floor to ceiling to, like I said, with the horizontals to give it that dramatic feel. And for a smaller space that holds 1,000 bottles, which is a great starting, it's a great wine cellar period. It really gives a big feel to the room with going floor to ceiling with that dramatic, those dramatic wine racks. In this particular room, there is a ductless split cooling system, a Joseph and Curtis system, that is very, very quiet. It's on now. The line sets were run to a condensing unit on a mechanical side of the basement, the finished basement here. We did a paint finish on the hallway that you kind of enter into the basement area, which leads into the wine cellar. And we also did some, as far as the lighting goes, some hi-hats, as well as a puck light, some rope lighting, which you'll see on the paint finish up on the ceiling that our painter finished. We are able to do soup to nuts, building out a room that's obviously fitted for refrigeration, which means a vapor barrier, insulation, cooling system, all the way through. In this particular case, we did all the design work in the room. We did do the tiling, we did do the door. We worked with the owner's contractor that was finishing the basement, and they did the framing and the sheetrock. So we took care of everything else, and they also took care of the electric. So in this particular case, it was kind of a half in, half out role, where we obviously did all the finishing work in here, but we also worked with this contractor in providing him specs for what he needed to do as far as the footprint of the room and the elements as far as the cooling system, the electrical layout, and so forth. And from that point forward, it was really just getting to work on doing a plan for them, finding out what their particular needs were as far as for storage goes. Was this a showpiece? Was this going to be a wine cellar that they were going to come in and taste in, which they ended up not doing? And then we really just stayed with this original footprint that we had and just worked off of that. And I think the room came out great. Again, they chose mahogany. We went over a couple different scenarios of African wenge and a couple other things, but at the end of the day, they chose sapele that was lacquered with 3 coats of lacquer, which we did in the shop. And other than that, it was really just once we decided on the final design, it was really it was about a 5.5-week process from when we started to when we finished, and then after that, we did all the finishing work as far as the mural and some of the paint finishes on the ceiling and the room and so forth. But other than that, it was a very clean-cut, easy build-out for us. And again, you don't have to be building wine rooms that are, 150,000. There's a lot of rooms that are like this, where people don't have to necessarily, if they're not collecting 5,000 bottles or 3,000 bottles. What we're seeing a lot of days now is that people are building tasting rooms that are very large, and then the wine cellar holds 1,000 bottles or 800 bottles or 1,500 bottles, which is a great collection, and then they're taking the time to be able to unwind, to be able to bring their family down. They're grown up. It's almost like a grown-up playroom, and we're adding things like dishwashers, ice makers, sinks, some cabinetry to where they're able to pull things like a butler's pantry where they don't have to keep going up and down the stairs, a small fridge where they're able to put cheeses and so forth when they're doing their tastings. And it's just a spot to be able to unwind and come down, grab a bottle out of the cellar, and be able to catch up with your wife, your family, your friends, and have a great evening with it, and always music as well. And I just wanted to remind everybody, please check us out on Twitter, which is @JosephandCurtis, Facebook, and also our website. And any questions that you have, please feel free to send us an email or a phone call. Appreciate it. Everyone here at Joseph and Curtis would like to personally thank every soldier that's ever served this great nation of ours. We appreciate all your business, and more importantly, we appreciate what you do for us and our families and keeping us free, because as we all know, freedom is not free, and we thank you for fighting for us and keeping us safe. We want to let you know that we are huge supporters of the wounded warriors.